2, 3.
Winning Motor Trend Truck of the Year 3 times in a row, that had never been done before. Then again, neither had a 12-inch touchscreen or 1,000 pound-feet of torque. Never been done before. It's just kind of our thing.
Flames TV live at the second intermission, brought to you by Ram Truck, winner of Motor Trend Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. Brendan Parker alongside Peter Loubardias. And Peter, we got a working mic, but also a kind of a similar period in terms of what we saw between the Flames and Jets. I mean, not a lot given up either way, really, when you look at it. Low event, as you put it in the first, similar here in the second?
Very, very similar, with one exception. Probably like the last 3 or 4 minutes of the second period for the Flames more than any other stretch in terms of being around the net a little more, created a couple of second shot opportunities. Those have been really hard to come by, and the Jets, again, have done an excellent job, and I know we'll show a couple of reasons why. They've defended that house area tonight very well.
Well, before we get to that, let's take a look at the one goal that came in that second period. Of course, we saw the puck bouncing off a couple of different things to produce the first Jets goal. Here's the second one that comes on a line change by the Flames here.
Well, the up pass, and you are unable to chip the puck in deep enough. And that is not the time to make a wholesale change. It left Kyle Connor open. Markstrom the first save. Here's the up pass. Pullman to the speedy Kyle Connor, second whack. He scores his 17th of the year. He barely found any point production against the Flames coming into this season, but he has 5 goals and 7 points against them so far in the season series. Remember, last season, 38 goals, 5th in the National Hockey League. Ehlers, Dubois, and Kyle Connor. That's a dangerous trio.
Yeah, a lethal trio indeed. And nice play there by Connor to just kind of hang around long enough on that rebound to be able to reach back and poke it by Jacob Markstrom.
Don't fly by. Didn't fly by.
Yeah.
Stay there for the second shot opportunity.
And the finish. Let's talk about, you mentioned the final 3 or 4 minutes there and kind of being around the net. And I think of a guy like Andrew Mangiapane, but also his line mate, Matthew Tkachuk as well, and just sort of what you've seen from him. Daryl Sutter talked about trying to get him some more minutes. Seems like we've seen a bit of that here through 40 minutes.
Well, you have, and Matthew has been very invested in the game. It's been tough slogging for everybody, but he has been around the net the majority of the night. Mangiapane, there's Tkachuk trying to drive a little mayhem. Here's his best opportunity, walks off the wall, second shot. There haven't been a lot of those that test Hellebuck. Here's a nice hit in his defensive zone that springs Michael Backlund on the rush the other way. He's been invested. That line, along with the Ryan line, I've found when the Flames have had any time or any pressure in the offensive zone, those have generally been the groups on the ice.
Well, and then we saw just at the end a couple of centermen in an offensive zone face-off. We saw Derek Ryan, Elias Lindholm, and Matthew Tkachuk. So just trying to generate anything when you get those rare offensive opportunities. But how about the job that Winnipeg's doing right now in their own zone? What are you seeing in the way that they've been able to keep everything, or at least most things, to the outside?
Well, they are playing what I would call a perfect road game through 40 minutes. They're dumping pucks when they're in any kind of duress, but inside their own zone, everything to the outside. They're getting great help, not just from their defense in boxing out, but good help from their forwards to collapse down and take away. They're winning some loose 50-50s on the odd rebound that comes free. They've done a really, really good job in this area. So here's Nesterov after a clean win. There they are in the lane. It's a block. Big 6'7" Logan Stanley in the road, but you know, they're on the right side of the puck. Good forward help there by Lewis. There's DeMello, Stanley.
Yeah.
That little sequence right there has kind of told the story defensively for Winnipeg and how difficult it's been to get in there for Calgary.
One of the only clean looks I think I can remember has come from Noah Hannafin walking in from the point, and he got a great shot away, ends up finding all bar. But otherwise, Winnipeg's done a pretty good job. Just quickly want to ask you about Jacob Markstrom. I know Daryl Sutter talked about getting a little bit more out of a few guys, not just a couple forwards, not kind of a couple of defense, but just really his whole lineup, and talked about the goaltender as well, maybe a couple extra saves. But there's a lot of pressure on a guy when you're playing these low-scoring games, aren't there?
Well, you could use a little run support.
Yeah.
And that's what's so difficult, is that every single mistake is magnified. And, you know, Jacob is more than capable of getting on a big run where he is an elite goaltender. We saw it early in the season, and, you know, here he is making a couple of good saves. He's in good position. Morrissey walks in, good box out in front. He's had some good moments. Right now, unless you're throwing up a goose egg, it makes the margin for error really difficult. But Jacob Markstrom has another gear. Last couple of months, save percentage is under 9 at about .895.5. But I feel for him, because right now it's, if you're not perfect, it's not going to get the job done. But I have great confidence that he can get on a run, and they're going to need it.
They are, and they're going to need some goals, and this final 20 minutes will dictate that for the Calgary Flames as they trail by 2. Let's get you caught up on the 50-50, RE/MAX 50-50, brought to you by RE/MAX and the Calgary Flames Foundation, as we are over $150,000, but that pot is soon to close. You can go to calgaryflames.com/50-50 to get your tickets and an opportunity to sign up and take home some cash here this evening, tonight and tomorrow. Of course, every Calgary Flames game, home and away. To a new segment we'll be doing here for all Calgary Flames home games the rest of the season. Our frontline hero of the game, recognizing the men and women here in Southern Alberta that are making it possible for us to be here tonight doing what we do. And obviously want to thank all of those men and women for being right in the thick of it throughout this entire pandemic, now stretching over a year's time. Tonight, our frontline hero of the game, we want to introduce you now.
My name is Pamela Payne-Brown, and I'm a social worker at AHS. So social workers do a multitude of things. We assist with discharge planning, we fill out housing and applications for financial benefits, we assist with grief and loss issues, we help people get Alberta healthcare cards, and the list goes on and on. To me, it feels rewarding when you feel like you've made a difference in someone's life. That could be as simple as getting someone an Alberta healthcare card one day, or it could be helping someone through a death and dying process another day. This year's been difficult. A lot of the patients have been struggling with not being connected with their loved ones. So trying to keep that connection up with Zoom and FaceTiming them, and just trying to keep that connection going so they don't feel socially isolated while they're in the hospital. I'm the palliative care social worker, and so when someone is dying and they need their family with them, it's been a big part of my role to advocate to have visitors come for when someone is passing away. And so that always makes me feel like I've made a difference, because if we could get people in at bedside when someone is dying, and that's when they need their loved ones around them.
Pamela Payne-Brown, our frontline hero of the game, and we'll continue to introduce you to more of Alberta Health Services' finest as this home season finishes up here for the Calgary Flames. But thank you to all the men and women who are doing all of their part on the front lines here in Alberta. All right, that does it for the second intermission, brought to you by Ram Truck. We'll be back after the game. Brendan Morrison will make his Flames TV Live debut here on the postgame show coming up after the hockey game. Flames trailing 2-0 here through 40 minutes. Some work to do against the Winnipeg Jets. Enjoy the third.
We call it the Ram 1500 Limited. But truth be told, there's nothing limited about it. Ram 1500, winner, J.D. Power Award for Best Driver Appeal.
Observe physical distancing guidelines of 6 feet where possible.